So, we're back here for Selfless and Renegades, and it honestly, after that last one, I'm not going to put it out of the realm of possibility that anything could happen.
I mean, we pretty much saw anything happening right there. We saw a team lose a 1v4 after plan. I mean, things were happening all over the place in that game. I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers that this is going to be a tiny bit more tidy from both sides. And judging from what Renegades did, at least before Yam left, they did manage to beat Cloud9 on Mirage, which is the map coming up. So I have somewhat higher hopes going into this next one.
Somewhat higher hopes. You know what? All expectations there on both sides. I'm sure of it. However, if you win 10-5 first half, you need to get that pistol and close this bad boy out. Close this week out. Make it happen for yourself. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Mirage.
Yeah, so Mirage, obviously, as mentioned, actually a pretty decent map for Renegades. One of their better maps, even though they've had a bit of a rough patch as of late. So for me, expecting Renegades, even though they're missing Yam now, to be able to do decently, actually. Mirage is one of those maps that everybody knows how to play, right? Everybody knows the basic smokes and whatnot. So even if you're playing on the T side, you should be able to concoct something that's going to allow you to have, be mildly productive. Everybody knows how to do basic mid control. Everybody knows how to do your standard A-tick and so on. So they can work off of that. And with how disjointed and, dysfunctional really Selfless looked on that CT side, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't, if Renegades don't actually need anything special to break through the CT side.
Well, being that both teams are in a little bit of a disarray, it's kind of one of those things. And actually, we've got Eric Stromboli ready to give us a rundown of Renegades Mirage. Take it away, Eric.
Welcome back, guys, to another edition of Stronger Strategy. We're going to take a look at Renegades JKS. Do you know who he is? I'm sure most of you don't. But we're going to show you some of the good plays he does. On this pistol, Azure and JKS, they get smoke, flash, nade each. Okay, looks kind of standard A-take these days. A lot of people have been hitting this. Nade the spawn, try to push him back. Now, Cloud9, I give them props for playing a nice retake. They're patient. They're not over-peaking. They don't want to get picked off. They wait for the teammates to get in position. But there's one thing you can't prepare for is when someone goes off. And JKS goes off. And this pistol round, he has no armor, no nothing. And he's about in a bad situation. They're about to crush him spawn. But you know what? He's going to get 2 kills with the Glock. Why not? 15 HP, still a 2-on-3 situation. But it doesn't matter. He's killing people left and right. And the entire match, this guy was just headshotting like nobody's business. Gun round, important round coming up. What are they going to do? Okay, so JKS, he likes to play his hall spot. He's going to hold a passive angle, watch for any shenanigans, any pushes, whatever. He's lurking. His teammates make noise. They get a kill middle. Now this prompts him, okay, maybe the A guy's looking towards middle. They got the kill. He's right. He catches Valiant completely off guard. So Valiant's going to remember this for next round. Just keep this in mind. He's going to remember this next round. And JKS, he takes the bomb site. He helps to defend the plant. He gets some kills. Yam is trying to find something to do. He's probably going to get picked off by Shroud, but doesn't matter. JKS is on fire right now. He wants to win. He's hungry. He gets the kill. Clutch round by JKS. Now this round, again, the next round, he playing a similar position, but instead of popping out when they get the kill middle, he's going to wait back, let the play come to himself. Look at that. Valens expecting maybe he'd be A-ramp, kind of sneaking around. He wanted to try to be aggressive. It does not pay off for him as JKS played the patient game, works well. Mixing it up, sometimes you go for the play, sometimes you have to play come for you. I like the move. And now he falls back, he gets Molotov off. It's 3-on-3 situation, so the round's still not over. But that kill allows Adder to hop on in, get in a good position to plant the bomb. As Azure, these are weird names, Azure is just in connector, has a great angle, gets 2 kills. Shroud does a nice 2 kill, but again, look who's alive, JKS. What are you going to do against him? How do you play against a guy who's on fire? Sometimes you just got to wish that he misses a shot. But apparently, JKS plays a smart. He peeks right before he defuses because he heard the smoke go. If he waited until he hit the bomb, then it'd be a lot harder for him to win the round because Shroud could probably play around the smoke. But as soon as he heard the smoke, he knew he had to run to tap the bomb, and he peeks right before them. He gets the kill, win the round. Great play by JKS, and hopefully Renegades will show more of these kind of round-winning techniques and plays in the future. Back to you, Stana.
Thank you, Eric, per the usual, and I do believe that will be the last time we see Eric tonight. Unfortunately, he's always a shining face. I do appreciate having him around, and you better say the same thing or else.
Oh, definitely so. Definitely so.
All right. Well, look, as we kind of go into this Mirage matchup here, Selfless Renegades, we saw a sort of a weird storyline in the last one, all kind of craziness across the entire board.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a product of stand-ins and whatnot. But let's really take it to the next level here. Do you expect this map to be as T-sided as Cash, or is there more balance?
I think there's going to be more balance to it. I would expect. I think it's an easier CT side to play on most occasions. Really, I think it's easier to get away, even if you're not as structured at times, which can allow you to get a couple of rounds here and there. So yeah, a bit more balance than what we saw in Cash, because that was pretty abnormal.
Pretty abnormal, to say the least, about these two lineups. There's a lot of abnormalities going on here within this equation, but to deliver that to us will be our commentators in Blue and Dazed. So we're just going to fly on over there for that, and I'm going to throw it off.
You missed.
Look, it was close.
That was like a 1v4 after plant right there.
It's a Selfless after plant.
There we go.
He's throwing like a girl in that pink shirt.
God.
Well, back to us again and back into this game, which I'm sure will be interesting, to say the least here, considering the way that Cash played out there. But really, it was just a hot mess for a large portion of that one, especially for the CT sides. No one could really get control of things or get good reads onto the T sides, and the Ts basically had their ways, regardless of which team it actually was.
Yeah, I mean, I do think we'll see more balance here. We gotta watch out for Trace, though. I think he's cooking up a couple more paper airplanes. We gotta.
He's bringing him back for the next segment.
I mean, he's still has the rating papers from when he fell, or not fell, but when you're riding your skateboard. So he's got some ammunition.
So Renegades here on the T side. I mean, they just roll right out into the A-bombs, but look at this big stack from Selfless. They're all in ticket right now towards CT, and they're actually holding right now. They are, but unfortunately, the positioning just isn't really working out for them. Adler's also got an invisible gun there for some reason, but he's going to get taken down by DSR. And while they did find the plant, now they're in a 2v3 against their own favor there. A good shot from JKS, tries to spin around to pick up the next one, but it will be left to Uber. We've seen him clutch, and he almost clutch as well. Maybe any more than just one time here based on this performance in the last map. So can he do it again? Waltzing right back in, tries to stop the defuse. They haven't even fully committed to it yet. He's wasting a whole lot of time. There's the first pickup. Caboose is going to be the last man standing here for Selfless as he rings back out. He can't actually find Uber, and he's going to run away. He no longer has time, so Uber clutches it out, and the Renegades will be picking up the pistol here.
Yeah, Uber can't have some of that magic, or actually can, sorry, recreates that magic. He's getting distracted. I'm getting bombarded by airplanes here, Blue. By paper airplanes.
Anal's hard at work as usual in between the games.
Yeah, Anal's hard at work as usual.
Just plotting their next segment. But yeah, a pretty usual second buy from Selfless here into the next round, and we've already seen, you know, as far as the status quo has gone here, that for the most part these rounds have been fairly uneventful. And the team that has the advantage usually carries through with it here. Bazer's popping right through over top past the steps over here in the A-bomb site. Yustilo getting himself on the edge of a smoke, although he's actually hit pretty heavily and has to back up due to that. He'll be down at 2 HP. After he does safely fall back away, but now CJ again sneaking out another one, finishing off the job on Yustilo here. Site control is for the T's though, and again, you know, Selfless actually still picking off quite a few kills here. It's not a bad round at all. Even if Caboose hasn't managed to pick up either one of these remaining two, knocking out 3 of them is certainly nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, I mean, good job getting those 3 kills. That A site completely open. Azure with nice movement to get into that position. Clears pretty much the entire side of the map by himself. But at the end of the day, Renegades does win that. They're probably going to re-SMG up and just kind of make easy work of Selfless here, who's just going to have USPs 1P250 on ZQK. Blue, we need to get you on your Mountain Dew diet like you were before, man.
Wait, what?
Remember when you would just drink like 10 Mountain Dews a day?
Yeah.
The most hype person of all time.
Who said I ever went off it?
Oh.
Just lessening the intake here so that I can drink more at home.
Ah.
See?
I see.
Yeah, getting back onto it that way. So I can have those late night ESCA pug sessions.
B- pugs.
Renegades are waltzing through this round, however, and again, like we said before, pretty uneventful. Unfortunately, Selfless just not able to put up the best of fights. And for DSR and Caboose, they're already completely detached from this hit on the A site, so it's going to be a 3rd round for the Renegades.
Mac-10 hunting with Azure. But yeah, you're all right. Azure's, I think I don't know. Azure and JKS are really impressive players. They usually play really well. It's just, I just still don't understand, man. They have a lot of talent on this team. They really do. Especially when they had, like, Ricky and Yam. I thought they had a ton of talent. I just don't know how they fell so far so fast. From making playoffs to
this
being at, like, the bottom of the standings.
Yeah, I don't. Their actual standings right now, I think, is something like they only have like somewhere between like 2 and 4 wins compared to like 10 to 12 losses at this point. So
yeah,
horrible record. I mean, there's no way they're making playoffs, obviously.
But earlier we were doing the segment where it was me and Eric, and we were talking, or Sean, or DeBears. We were talking about who we thought was going to make playoffs, and like I was thinking they were going to be battling for that 6th spot, 5th or 6th. Did not expect this at all.
Yeah, the expectations are really kind of flown in the way, and even teams that have players that really never were able to shine in North America are actually have in pretty decent spots in the razor. Like Energy is one of those teams that comes to mind. We're wondering. I thought it was going to take like a season before they really came together, if the team even survived throughout the season. But they're actually doing not too bad right now, and they may be one of the teams that ends up battling out near the very edge of the top 6 that end up getting to go to land. Anyway, into the battle here though, and they don't even check behind for ZQK, so he just grabs one for free. Quick enough trade though from the Renegades there, as JKS does knock him out before any additional damage is done. But the problem is they didn't really do a great job of clearing out the rest of the site, so as they attempt to go for the plant, Nifty immediately takes down Azure. Caboose working his way in to assist as well from the connector, but Ustillo as well pushing himself up, and he sees that up from a mile away. This barrel of it at least, so he has no problem dispatching of these 2 at mid. Tables turning once again here as the CTs lose so much momentum after the loss of those 2 players here, and outfalls such as DSR and CJ to somehow clutch this out. And DSR wasting no time, swinging himself into the open there, has found JKS off of that one. They smoke out the mid player, and now they're going hunting for the guy that's still remaining on site. Nicely done again from DSR as he catches Uber going for a peek. So you still has got a 1v2 set against him, catches the first one, but DSR picks up the final kill and ends up with a 3K on the round as he comes up big for Selfless to put them up on the board.
Yeah, and that, Renegades is saying, hey, that's a good round to lose. They got the palm down. They still kept 2 SMGs, I believe it was, on JKS and Ustillo. And now they could just reset them right here. And, I mean, they have a lot of money. They're even going to be able to purchase the round after this if they lose this round. So Renegades is in a great spot right now.
Renegades here just buying up fully into this round. Still having plenty of cash to work with, but as we take a look for Selfless, again, splitting all of their guys up into just a 2-1-2, basically, and even the 1 in mid is going to be pretty passive about this, definitely contributing a little bit more to A. That'll be DSR, but we saw the work he was able to do in the last round, so you certainly don't want to count him out, and you probably don't want to lose him at the beginning of the round either. Caboose is probably going to move out towards Cat a little bit here to investigate away from the B site, and beyond that, pretty even split from Renegades as they do try to move out for a little bit of control, specifically Ustillo just getting that position to Cubby here, while the rest of his team forms up for what's probably just going to be an A hit.
Yeah, looking that way, just a straight A hit. They're in that SK setup with 2 A ramp. Nifty spotting A halls from connector jungle area, and Caboose is watching catwalk.
Uber pushing himself. Azure actually moving back in first, but they don't check for ZQK again. He surprises them. The same thing happened in the last round here, finding that double kill, and now DSR just chiming back in from the connector once more, has split the remaining Renegades players 1-1, with 1 playing in mid and 1 still out onto the site through the cover of smoke. He gets himself to the platform, will attempt to go for the plant. Great adjustment from Ustillo there, as he was almost a goner immediately against Caboose, and even sprays in for some damage here against DSR. Finally meets his match against the man that destroyed them in the last round, though, and now it's Adder in a 1v2, prioritizing the plant over all else, and he does get it, but nades going on to him. Molly's a little bit too deep there, but it does prevent him from swinging out to the right. They actually think it's back towards that firebox there, but still, DSR, once again, coming out those 2 3Ks in a row here, and they are going to be able to pick up a 2nd in a row.
Yeah, they are, and Renegades has yet another chance, because they did get the palm down. They're going to have a fully bought round here, and they have another chance to break Selfless's economy. Having said that, that setup by Selfless was an exact replica of what SK does. I thought Nifty was opping jungle, was actually DSR playing jungle, but that guy watches halls. Then you have 2 players A ramp. They kind of bait for each other, one hiding in the corner, and then one kind of spotting. And then you have that guy catwalk who's watching connector, and then you have that player B. So you kind of have everything covered that way.
Renegades move out for fast mid again, and they get the smoke to cover their push over here towards the top boxes. They also are going to, again, this is just all quick mid control for them here. And at the moment, it doesn't really look like that Selfless will do anything to resist that. They'll just hand it over to them and, again, choose to battle either inside of the window room connector or cat, where they would have to try and battle out to actually get into one of the sites. And again, it's over here towards A, where things have not really gone so great. At the very least, they counter out to Caboose, who tried to go for the cat push once more. He's had relative success there before, but this time they knock him out pretty effortlessly, which could change the dynamic of the hit over towards B if they decide to investigate in that route, since now they only have the apartments player to deal with. Even CJ pushing out from Palace, so that could swing in either direction. Look at this, Ustillo walking right up against ZQK. Finally, it's one of the T's that ended up surprising him after he's had two actually pretty big rounds before by just holding in these positions that Renegades don't check at all. And so now this puts it down to a 2v5 where, again, at this point, Renegades basically have their pick of the litter. They can go wherever they want to across the map. Even Nifty falling back through CT spawn is not necessarily going to be safe as well. Out comes Ustillo from the market there to take him down. And it's just DSR stuck in underpass.
Yeah, and that's the round Renegades was playing for. You know, you win that pistol, you keep the next rounds close, keep getting the bomb down like they do. As long as they convert on one of these upcoming rounds, Selfless' economy is crushed, it's destroyed, and now they're probably gonna, well, we'll see. I don't know if they're gonna force buy or not. If they don't force buy, they might be able to buy the next round. It's not gonna be a great buy, but yeah, so it looks like they're just gonna save. Very light investment, and Renegades was successful. And usually this is what leads to these really good T-side halves. I mean, we just saw it on Cash, and it looks like we're poised to see it again on Mirage.
And they're swinging out pretty quickly again. Like we said before, this is the same thing they did in the last round, just out towards top mid really quickly. And now they just have the outright advantage here, so unless Selfless is really good positioning, and specifically if Renegades don't check towards it, it's going to be very simplistic for them to continue to reassert their advantage on this T side and continue to push the scoreline even further in their advantage here as well. Looking for CJ, he knows he's got him in that corner somewhere, he just can't hit the shots. And it's, again, ZQK with these little peekaboo plays. It ends up working out really well every time. Minimal success this time, however, as Ustillo just goes out fragging, gets himself a nice little 3K there in the connector, and everything is left to DSR, who's probably not going to be able to get much done with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 kills here. We'll just wait to see if anyone from the Renegades kind of routes their way over towards him here. And there you go. He picks up one. You can hear Ustillo walking away, but the angle and the aim punch kind of messes him up there at the very end of it. So that's all he will get. Like I said, just the 1 kill. And just like that, Renegades really back in full control. And for those that have been able to resist dying in these past couple rounds, already building up the money again too. Look at that, 7, 8, and 10K on Azure, JKS, and Ustillo already. Just after, I think it's like 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah, and they're going up against another save. So should be 6-2 with even more money than that by the end of this round.
Yeah, really strong stuff coming out here. Again, on the T sides though, so this you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt based on what we saw on Cash. If the CT sides for Renegades end up being just as chaotic here, then we have to make sure that the advantage continues to grow up to something, you know, like 13-12, 12, or 13-2, excuse me, 12-3, or like 11-4 if they want to make sure that they can still pretty securely close out on this map.
Yeah, you would think so, judging by how Cash was played. So they're going to smoke window and top connector. And it looks like they might, scout out catwalk with this, which is a good start to any anti-eco. Actually, they just feign the mid pressure like they could go up catwalk, and they're going to go back to A together. Unfortunately for them, this is like a pretty well-stacked site. I mean, they already have presence in holes with CJ, who could shoot people in the back. DSR only has a USP, though, and Nifty long range with a CZ. It might be kind of rough. Renegades really needs to make sure that they trade properly onto CJ and, don't take many deaths off him.
As he just sits here and waits in the corner. They check for him. They do spot him first off. Good peek from CJ, though, as he takes down Ustillo. And now Uber trying to battle it out to make sure that he doesn't get the second here. And in the meantime, they have started to hit on the actual A site. Adder taking down DSR. And actually, CJ getting the dink, I think, over there on Uber, bringing him down to 12 HP. But after the action finishes in Palace, it is rather uneventful out on the actual site itself. ZQK is going to try to surprise again from the backside. He's been sneaky throughout this entire half, as he once again is going to try to do it here against Uber, but he's watching out for it. So we will not see any additional kills except for the one that CJ got on Ustillo.
Yeah, that aim punch is pretty brutal. And Selfless, I mean, and this time it's the, a different story. Last map, it was Nifty, only person who could really get anything going on Selfless, and then CJ later on in that half. And now it's just DSR, who's really been the one to have the most impact. CQK has a couple pistol kills, but, and Nifty had a couple kills in that first gun round that they won, but it's been DSR to put the bulk of the work in. Meanwhile, on Renegades, what is Ustillo? 13 frags already.
Yeah, Nifty, oof, nicely found right at the start here. He does pick off Adder a little bit, but it's not the full kill. It is going to go through the wall, which means he survives for now. And we'll see the rest of Renegades moving in to take that mid-control. Azure almost losing his life really early on there, too, as he's caught out by the hands of the op once again. Selfless onto the double op setup now, having that extra power to work with, but needing to capitalize upon it. And Renegades still just playing this, by the book here in terms of them continuing to go for these A plays. Molotov to hold the player over there on Cat off, but DSR and Nifty, both of the operas are going to connect shots here, taking down Uber and JKS. So finally meeting some strength against them over here on this A site, and even in mid too. And now the problems, kind of surface against them, and that this repetition may not really work out great for them unless they can somehow turn this back around here. They got window control at the very least, so they can try and sneak back through over here towards jungle. But the problem, even for Ustillo when going past the murder hole, is that ZQK is waiting right there for it. And yeah, Ustillo didn't even see it. So thankfully, he gets past it pretty quickly and only loses a quarter of his health. Now they'll swing it onto the site, but this is where the real problem started. Yep, you just take down CJ. Good trade with the Nifty, though. They prevent the ticket box player from actually doing any damage. Good damage is still done, though, in the trade onto Adder as he's brought down to 18 HP. And Azure just kind of right out in the open there. Doesn't even really get himself behind cover in time over there towards jungle and steps area. Adder's stuck underneath, so at most, I only really feel like unless they peek him one by one, that he's going to get one kill. He gets the first one there. Second one's in the same spot. Molly, though, is going to burn him back down, and Caboose is the one to finish it off, as Selfless just barely are able to win out that round, and they will get a third.
It's the exact same situation that they were in before, though. They're fully bought out. They have 4 deaths. They save the op, even though they win the round. But again, it's the exact same situation. Any round that they lose in these upcoming rounds, they're going to have 0 cash. I mean, that wasn't that great of a shot, guys. All right. I think if we're going to do a replay, it should be Blue's thinking emoji. Like, come on.
We have the technology, so we have to use it.
Absolutely.
Renegades, again, are just going to go for top mid control. Nifty's never really, trying to take any much.
He's usually hopping other places. I think the first time we saw him op CT spawn, we saw him op B, we saw him op connector.
Yeah. This has been a pretty consistent thing for Renegades to do, though, is just smoke this off and then go for the control at top boxes. So it's a bit surprising we haven't seen someone try to go for timing shots on it before. Hope that they can meet the impact here, but even so, Nifty is pretty unsuccessful in it. In fact, he gets lit for about half of his HP and has to back away. Still heavy defenses on A, but there's not really anyone playing in like Market as a shift player that can rotate quickly, and because of this, look at Ustillo. He's already gotten himself into the window room and has opened up a huge divide, which I don't even think the CTs are going to do. He's going to walk up here in a moment, assuming he doesn't get flanked from the back, which he definitely won't. And hello, there's Nifty.
It's a knife. It's a knife.
He does have CJ. Oh, he's got to be careful there as he goes for CJ. Oh, it's a little bit messy, but dang, he makes it work. He does get the double kill there. Very well played up from him. Saves quite a few of his teammates, possibly from getting maxed out by that guy as well. And JKS and Azure just continuing to push forward. They knock out ZQK. Caboose gets pushed out into the B bomb site. And for DSR, well, hiding over here and get right to see if he can hold on. He's not even looking the right way here either, but his opponent hasn't seen him. There you go. It took Uber a second, but he finally found them, and at the end of the day, it's a relatively clean round for the Renegades there.
What a way to lose the round. 5v5 CS, some guys in CT spawn.
Walks right through here, and like I said, nice 2v1 that he does manage to pull off. Goes for the far guy first. A little bit messy in getting it, but it does succeed. So closes out there and pretty much opens the site wide for the rest of his teammates to push back in and secure the round. Selfless onto just an upgraded pistol round with armor sitting behind it on most of their players. Kabuski at the very least gets a UMP. Nifty again pushed out from the window early on since he doesn't really have the presence this time. CTs will just start to smoke things off and delay this as long as they can. Yeah,
I mean, they're just going to force by here. Just kind kind of a last-ditch effort. I mean, it's looking bleak, Blue.
Yeah, it's looking like the Renegades are taking pretty swift control, and even in this round 2 where they do have the force, the impact not being found. Caboose down very low and has been forced to fall back. JKS waltzing in and finding what's pretty much an open A site. There's only a few key areas he has to check out besides that, so in a second he's probably going to call for his teammate just to come in through connector. Try to block back off on Cat or just take the duel since JKS got ZQK out there, so all that's left is Caboose. And they did damage to him earlier, so they should have a relative idea of where he's hiding out at in a 4v1. Not much he can do, and as he turns towards the bench, well, there's he's still up, waiting to shoot him right in the head to take him down. Money's huge now for the Renegades. They're good for the rest of the half, even if Selfless wins out all of the remaining rounds here. 14.1K. It was almost max money from 12.6K on Ustillo, and JKS being the first one that I talked about there, and then anywhere between 8,000 and 8,600 for the other 3. So looking great, and Selfless after that force, not buying anything except for 2 flashbangs on Caboose. The shuffle out towards mid. One of them doesn't even make it out of the window here. Another one through connector. Good flashes onto Adder, but those are team flashes, I think, that are hitting him. And Adder and Uber are kind of working together here. Caboose found one, but then gets clotheslined by JKS as he just swings out from Palace.
Just get in there, Ryu. Just this is your chance, man.
Show how it's done.
Revitalize the career.
Is he in the coach slot right now?
I think so.
Can we hold tab and see? Oh, well, it's not showing his
Nope.
because the spec slot's taking up the first one.
Oh, okay.
I think he is there. It just doesn't show it sometimes after the second person.
Just get in there, man. Just sorry, one of you guys.
We'll take a tribal vote. CJ, though, pushing himself up. He does pick up at least this first kill. ZQK not only getting Adder, but also Uber here. However, elsewhere on the map, Renegades are still finding some small victories, and the JKS took down DSR and basically got control of the A site. But the bomb is really far detached from all of this. It's sitting outside of the B Hall's approach. Over there by top mid, and the CTs haven't realized it yet. JKS just kind of hopping through A there and trying to use his advantage to the best of his ability, but he also doesn't want to over push and just lose his life for no reason here. It looks like Azur again, since JKS still has...
QK should be able to hear him from here if he is running.
I think right now he's expecting him actually to come back, so he might not have caught it initially.
He might have just caught like the tail end of it, but I think he could hurt him.
And there's nobody. They're actually going back into mid, too. As you can see, Nifty going back over there. He's kind of weaning back and forth. Caboose still playing fully in B, so they will be able to get the plant with basically no one contesting them, especially with Nifty getting hit on the molly there. It sends him even further back into the window room. So they've got time to not only plant, but they're probably going to have like 5 to 10 seconds as well to just set up in post-plant positions if any of them want to move away. The smoke goes off, blocks out connector, but still leaves room for Azur to impact. And, well, it's not going to be Azur that's impacting. It's actually JKS that finds it. Azur, though, against ZQK, he's only got 5 HP. Easy kill for Azur to get. And now Nifty, well, he'll attempt to pull off something here. He knows where Azur's playing from, as he does against JKS, too. And some early damage done to Azur here. Just as a note, he does not have a kit. And with the Molotov going down, even more time is going to be wasted. Azur and JKS really smart about this. They're just not going to directly challenge it. They believe in the Molotov, and it works out as Nifty's going to back out and save. Actually, Nifty mind gaming them a little bit there at the very end. Made it look like he was going to just walk his way all the way through underpass so they could chase him, and he just pull off the 1v2, but it's irrelevant.
I mean, you don't lose that.
Yeah.
They have like 13K a piece. Wow, that's a lot of money.
And like I said, towards the beginning
Buy for days.
Hmm?
You could buy for days. Days and days on it.
Like I said at the beginning of the half, it was really going to come down to if Renegades could pick up, I think getting into the double digits here, they're looking a lot more secure. If they show troubles on their CT side, just like Selfless has continued to do on this map, just like they were over on Cash, if they can push this any farther into these last 2 rounds and make 12-3, then they're still in good hands, especially if they win the pistol there. But ZQK close up again with that shotgun. He found impact on it towards the beginning of the half, but not this time. Azur knocking ZQK out. And once more, it's the Renegades off to an early advantage here. And they'll start to take mid-control off of that early kill, too. But actually, Caboose swinging back down. Azur wasn't ready for that, so there's the even trade. Now we can see what the rest of the team is going to do. Once more, you do have the players sneaking back out. In fact, both Ustillo and JKS get kills at the same time. Nifty on Cap, though, able to trade Ustillo's death out. But now the rest, or at least 2 out of the remaining 3, are going to swing their way into B, where it's currently only DSR there to defend it. But he's had himself some good rounds in this half so far. And waiting over here, right behind on Cat, picks up 1, but does go down immediately after that. And Nifty was flanked back out. They brought him down to 2 HP. He still may be able to take down JKS, but Adder's going to be the real challenge over on the other site. And not only that, but Nifty's just using so much time and trying to be careful for this flank against him. And as he does wait it out, JKS just gets the headshot against him anyway.
Shot.
Hopping into it and then immediately firing it off.
You know what's the most demoralizing thing about Selfless?
What?
They still got to play Cloud9, NRG, Immortals, Luminosity, and then also Winter Fox and Complexity. But still, like 4 of their matches are really tough matches.
Yep, and their record currently does not sit in a very remoralizing place. Oh, Adder just hitting the shots through the wall now.
I always try that. I never am able to.
He saw him hopping into that though, so that was actually a good read on his part, as he knows he would have just gone to the corner. And again, right off the bat, it's been like this every round. Renegades just easily get the 5v4 right from the start within the first like 10 to 20 seconds here. Adder going on the chase, even catches CJ as he tried to run over there towards T-spawn. That's another one. They did lose Ustillo, but now Uber walks into connector, finds Caboose getting over aggressive. JKS will move out here, probably get himself a couple shots from ZQK to confirm that his position is sitting back over there in Ticket. And DSR also hiding. I mean, they're not even playing to win the round at this point on Selfless. They're just playing for self-survival here as they just hold that position and allow them to trade out 1 kill. But Renegades are just hunting here. They just want to get these last few kills, end the half out with a 12-3 advantage that they're almost certainly going to get at this point. If Selfless still can somehow round a comeback on T side, then both of these teams will have proven to be quite a mess. The bomb has gone down to ZQK. Is going to kind of hop into his own death. Adder ends up getting the last kill there. And indeed, it is a very dominant first half for the somewhat Australian squad now. 12-3. Stick with us, guys. Second half in just a moment here.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
Well, welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, here to the ESL Pro League. It is the last time this evening. We're coming back here after a break here now for the second half of our final map of the evening between Renegades and Selfless, who at this point is looking like Renegades is probably going to hold good control of this, but at the same time, Cash was very T-sided and completely T-sided in some respects here, but with 12-3, in theory, Renegades shouldn't have too many issues closing out here.
Yeah, I mean, this should be pretty easy, I think. I mean, Renegades was, in my opinion, probably better on Mirage when we've watched them play than Cash as well. And I mean, if they win the pistol, it's probably over just by that. So there was some breaking news, though, Blue.
What was there?
Yeah.
What's the update? Tell us the news from the
right,
front.
you said it's a shrug on Twitter.
Not even a struggle, just a shrug.
Shrug.
Whatever that means. I've actually I've never heard the struggle before. That's a new one.
It's a shrug?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. I mean, I knew it was just struggle shortened, but
yeah.
I've just never heard anyone use it.
I say it on my stream. I guess you don't watch.
Wow. Sorry. Well, we're getting into it now, folks.
Probably say it on my YouTube as well. You guys want to go check that out.
As the live on 3 is started. And Renegades, if they do win this pistol, it's pretty much all in the bag.
I asked our director about how much it would cost for the bronze package for me to sponsor the stream. And then I would just be able to plug my YouTube whenever I want.
At any point, yeah.
Yeah, at any point.
It's randomly in the middle of like a
no matter
3v1
what.
clutch when it's
Like,
down to a 1v1.
Oh, every time that you're hyping something up because you know it's going to be on like a top plays, I'm just like, youtube.com/GoDays. Every single time.
Well, I mean, now you got to pay them because you just... Now look at this from Renegades. They're trying to set up smokes, and Yustillo's just walking down. He finds DSR, and he gets ZQK. They've got the mid push, but Azur here's there's Stom with a big foot over here in mid. Caboose and Nifty at the very least trading out those 2 kills, but Adder, actually, I thought he was going to pick this up, but no. They're able to stomp their way through over here onto Cat and pierce the veil. So now Uber trying to hide back out and keep things together for his team. It's been brought down to a 2v2. He's got to be careful, though, because in a moment, he's going to get flanked from Market if he doesn't watch out for this and get this kill on a CJ. That's going to come right now from Nifty. He finds it. Down goes Uber. And now Yustillo has to end up with a 4K to clutch this and allow for the Renegades to keep their lead going. And oh, he walks right past CJ. Doesn't fire off the shot yet, but they're lined up in a double stack to take him down. So he hops out the window instead, trying to fight this battle close up. It works for the first one and the second one. So Yustillo goes massive with a 4K. And it will be the Renegades that push through and take the pistol.
It took everything out of me to not shout out, to not plug my channel during that.
That's look at this, beautifully done. So yes, the Renegades indeed do win the pistol, and now they get to push forward here. Selfless, not even...
They even save. That's super conservative.
I mean, they got the plant, so I guess it was going all in on the third round.
Yeah.
They don't even buy smoke or anything. They're trying to overwhelm the site, which is usually what you see happening in the second round after that, but it's just the pistols this time. And probably out towards top mid. It could actually work out since Uber's going to challenge that with a UMP at that range, but we'll see in a moment how Uber tries to play it. It's all quiet for the first couple seconds here. I think they're waiting for the underpass player to get in better position. ZQK sneaking up, and now they do start to swing out there and push themselves into it. And Uber, you have to actually check for this too, so he might have quite a surprise for him when he swings out, but Yustillo sitting back in here, he's going to find one, looking for more. His teammates helping out with it. ZQK does surprise a bit from underpass, but after that, it's shut down pretty quickly. And Nifty, well, he got himself in the A-bomb site, but without the bomb, there's not much to be gained, besides maybe picking up a couple of extra kills here.
Good luck, Nifty.
You got any Deagle tips over on the YouTube channel there for Nifty to use right now? Oh.
Hit shots like that.
He's hitting one. He sees more. Hold on now. Gets that one. He knows Jackass is somewhere there towards the bottom right, and he's got the Cat guy back way over there at the very back of the actual push. So Renegades get cool themselves here for a moment. Nifty's going to get a little bit more aggressive, though, moving into this. Dodges the flashbang. No repeak yet from the Renegades. Keep in mind, they need to come towards him, as they still have the bomb there controlled by the CTs. The smoke's going to pop its way back out. Adder trying to drop back down. I don't know if he saw Nifty go back in, but yeah, they just spray into it there just to be safe, and it works out as JKS finds Nifty and takes him down. So the Renegades will shoot up to 14, and this will be, you know, very possibly one of the only gun rounds that Selfless get coming up here.
Quite possibly. So they get fully bought out. But man, CJ's even struggling a lot. CJ hits some nice shots, man. He's usually pretty impressive with how well he can aim. But they just set up. They have, looks like it's going to be an A take with just one person top mid. So Nifty's top mid. He's going to try to make a play around Catwalk, and then they're probably just going to contact A through the smoke.
Moving up towards it here. Here's the thing, JKS waits directly in front of this here, so we have to see if they are going to be able to quickly counter him back out. As you can see, they're still getting prepped for it with their own flashes and whatnot to toss out from this. But the smoke's going to fade in a moment, so he does it back way. And they can hear that move pegs ZQK with a flash of the face, but it doesn't work out as both Nifty and ZQK are going to hit those opening kills. CJ finding another one too, and it's really quick, but it does leave itself into a 2v4. Adder's trying to wrap back over, but it's going to take a really long time for him to get into a position. And by the time he arrives there, we're already going to see good positioning for the post plant being taken up. That'll make it really hard for this to happen. Adder did manage to take down CJ, though, but now they also are aware that the flank is coming, so they can position to counter that back out. It does appear, though, that Renegades are still going to go for this. They're not necessarily giving up upon it, but with the elimination of Adder, Azur, he, again, still trying to push himself up here, and at the very least look for 1 or 2 more players that he could try and take down, but it's just not happening. So now he makes the economical decision to fall back, save the round, and let Selfless go up to 4.
Signs of life, Blue. Coming out from Selfless. Yeah, it's a very, you know, common strat that we generally see in Rank S a lot. One top mid, everybody else go A, and he just walked out of halls. I mean, nobody was spotting it at all. Just gets underneath balcony, you know, before anything even happens to get that entry. And usually when that happens, you're probably going to win the round. So ZQK flashing middle. It's a quick mid control and just a 1-3-1. 3 top mid control right away. So we'll see if they opt for, you know, smokes and whatnot. Azur gets a nice kill, though, at upper B. He clears all of that out. Bombs there as well, right outside the window. He's not going to be able to spot it, but they do know that's, you know, controlled. And now that makes it a lot more difficult for the T's. And it makes it more difficult for them as well because they didn't really spot much. You know, they don't know how many people were upper B. There's only like 1 person pushing, so they can't immediately run into A or anything.
There's going to be a boost up here for Azur on Cat, too, so they've got to be careful if they head over there towards Connector. Caboose may see this, though, and counter it out, but no, it's Azur that gets the better of it now. He's the one that played with armor there, too, since he saved on the last round, so good that he's the one that gets to take the contact here. In the meantime, now, Adder, the player with the second AK, just waiting patiently in the ladder room. And the T's, if they go in towards A, that's a trap because the B players are already kind of in a position to start a pinch really early on here, along with there being Uber, who starts it off really well, tapping on a CJ here, bringing him to 38. Molly's going to have to bounce its way in here, and thankfully the distraction of the stairs players works out so that Nifty can just walk right up and take down Uber. But now JKS hiding up on top. He's not going to commit himself yet. He wants his teammates over there in Connector to impact first. He's got Nifty cornered, but at long range, those shots just aren't going to hit, and they send him to swing out in the open. And on the round where they only have 1 AK to start off, saved by Azur there. They end up winning it outright and now pushing themselves up to 15.
See, this is the time that I would love to have team comms. Times like these. Everybody else yeah, everybody else wants the comms to hear like Cloud9 versus like whatever, you know, Liquid, and it's like a really close game in situations like this in the Pro League. I want comms in these. I want to hear what Selfless is saying to each other right now.
You just want to hear the tilt?
I don't know. They're all like really nice guys.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they can't tilt.
True.
Everyone tilts at some point or another.
I mean, I've never tilted, so I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're referring to.
Okay. But Renegades, again, just really scouting for intel here. They're actually really very mobile at the beginning of the round, and because of that, it's kind of let CJ walk right up through the connector here. Hasn't found himself a peek to pick up a kill yet, but Uber, let's see if he spots it. Right around the corner, he sees his foot, but oh, CJ still gets the headshot just in time. But now, actually, Selfless, look at this, 3 kills. Azur only trading into 1, leaves us to a 4v2. You still can't get anything done, and now it's just Adder in a 1v4, who's got himself outside over here on Cat, but smoked out in Connector, so he's not going to be able to spray them down on the cross out from there. He's got to push himself forward into the window room, and CJ might have even heard the jump down. He lines up that kill at the very least, so starts himself on the path to victory. But Caboose Smart just goes into that smoke there to make sure he doesn't get taken down, and basically gives Adder these individual 1v1s where he also has the angle to work with too. He's going to walk right up, and there you go. Caboose just gets the easy shot to the back to close the round.
Yeah, good job by CJ, just kind of walking around middle, finding any of these openings. Not sure who it was at window, but when he ran back to jungle, it was just an easy decision for CJ to just kind of go up connector. Just kind of giving up a lot of information when your Renegades there around that window area. I believe it was Uber. Uber's actually playing the opper spots just with a rifle, though, if you've noticed.
Yeah.
He just took over Yam's positioning.
And Caboose.
So I can't really like blame him in that sense because Uber does not play middle often on Mirage. Like I'm telling you right now, he probably almost never plays it.
It's a really awkward transition that he was probably thrusted into.
No, he was. It's just a 1-to-1.
So now Ustilo is going to swing back down early on here as Renegades just trying to get close up to look for these advantages, seeing if they can eco upset again. They don't have the AK to work with this time, though, to kind of kickstart things. So at the moment, DSR. Azur, though, finding that trade, but that's towards ramp. And at the moment, we're unsure if Selfless are even going to follow through with a take in that direction. Azur picking that up, but now the rest of Selfless kind of looks like they are going to group over there in the apartments and try to make a push out in that direction, but there's a 2-stack from Renegades looking to specifically stop this. Adder and Uber over there on the site, playing in the site, and I think just on the other edge of Van there to look for this type of a hit, so they've got to be careful if they go through with that, as they could just walk into a trap, and it is going to be literally everyone going together on that one. CJ may bypass it, but he's also going to be a late entry to mid, so if all 3 of these guys go down, then more than likely, Siege is going to end up being a bit of relevant. But thankfully, he does catch Azure getting a tad over-aggressive there in mid and punishes him. And they catch Adder repositioning, so he's going to be out in the open. Uber doesn't get anything done. Adder sneaks in for 1, looking for more, though, but ZQK jumping over catches him. And now it's JKS. And while he has scavenged an AK, more than likely, he's going to look to save that.
Yeah, just looking for exits around jungle. But yeah, he definitely will save that for the next round. What's the money looking like on
I
Renegades?
don't think they'll have enough to buy yet.
DJ? Money?
There you go. Ah! Okay. Careful now. don't want to make the folks at home sick.
Yeah.
They might be alright, actually.
No, I think they'll buy, for sure. Especially if they save this AK, because he could drop 2 Astilla.
But he... No, I don't even think anyone's going to get close enough to him in time. Unfortunately, the number 5 player is still going pretty slowly over and around here, so it's not going to catch him in time. And Selfless do end up picking up. The biggest problem, of course, for Selfless here is the fact that these rounds are still close, and, I mean, ultimately, right? It's only 1 round for Renegades, so this is still going to need to be a flawless streak for them. 9 rounds straight now that they win, and it's only OT that's guaranteed at that point, not the outright map victory. And Renegades going right back into another buy round here. It is fully invested, pretty much full utility across the board, along with all M4/AKs. So they've got enough to play with, and now it's on Selfless to win things out from here and try to keep their gun rounds consistent, which was one of the big issues there on the last map. CJ, though, finding himself Ustilla, who just kind of waltzes his way into the T steps there, and it's no problem at all to right off the bat get a 5v4 advantage. Rest of them, in the meantime, they still have 2 stacked outside of the T-steps or in that general area. Azure tries to go in the same way that Ustillo did, and CJ's probably just going to hang out here now for a couple more seconds. He's getting fed kills left and right, and there's no reason for him to move. No flashes or anything to try and support this push out either. So just attempting to go for it, thinking it's going to trip up the guys on Selfless, but not the case. And at the moment, Renegades, at least in this gun run, are kind of digging their own grave.
Yeah, now it looks like they're just going to do a full smoke take on A, but Adder is going to meet ZQK, gets that kill, and now Nifty and CJ turn around, trade off of them, but they still have 2 towards A.
DSR now makes quicker from one of them, Uber trading it. Now he's got himself a 1v3. Didn't even realize that there was presence in mid, and Caboose will finish the job. Taking them out. Selfless, swinging back into it. They're just under halfway there, and it is going to come onto an eco round for Renegades here.
Can't wait for overtime, Blue. Look. It's the best.
Thinking. So, the Renegades. Jesus.
Oh, man.
They tried to get aggressive this time. As you can see, there's a 2-man palace push, but it's CJ challenging it, and CJ's been really good in these situations where they try to get kind of sneaky on him, so he's not going to have any problem taking down Azure, and if Ustillo follows through, probably taking him out too. They've already got top mid control over there for Selfless, and not only this, but again, the world is their oyster, considering the fact that Renegades don't really have a big investment. It's just P250s and a single CZ sitting on Adder, so there's not really any reason to fear much. Uber has an okay spot. In fact, with the smoke fading, it was looking like he was going to be able to tap onto one of them there before they went to the connector. He can still do it, but DSR suspects something there, so he actually swings back over and gets the better of Uber before the reverse is true. Now JKS, really the only one that's going to defend connector from now on. And Nifty, even moving back here to look for Ustillo, finds him, prevents the bomb from going down early. And with taking him out, well, it's just these 2 guys, or excuse me, the 1 guy in jungle remaining. And then Adder back over there at the B-bomb site. No kills at all. And with the 5v4 alive here, it's certainly going to be a good victory for Selfless to swing up to 8, making sure that they keep their buy strong, continuing forward on this comeback. Adder gets dispatched of there too without any room for a trade. So now pushing themselves forward past the halfway point. And again, money pretty much an impenetrable point here too, even if the rounds start getting a little bit dodgy with them only winning it with like when clutches with 1 or 2 players left alive at the end. They're still looking good, and for Renegades, they still have to sort of buy out every time as they're still in this kind of vicious cycle. But full M4s this time, and for those that did buy the M4s, they've got full utility. It also includes the op on Uber, and he's immediately going to move out, not only dropping DSR at top mid, but that's also the bomb going down right from the start too, so huge advantage, and I think it even got kicked forward a little bit. So if Uber stays out there peeking, it's actually pretty rough for Caboose to try and go get that, so they have to use the smoke to cover it off instead.
Yeah, I mean, he just peeked middle with a Molotov out and no smoke towards the window for whatever reason. Uber just opping around window looking towards Cat, I believe. They only have 1 player towards B. It's a double connector setup, 1 window and 1 towards A.
He's going to send CJ back early on here, too, as they were trying to sneak back in. They did get nifty out to Tetris, though, and he's already gone kind of investigating things here on the site, getting really far forward, now up to the sandwich already. Good thing he hasn't spotted JKS back by the firebox, otherwise this could have really put a dent in the defense early on, but it's still going to make it awkward when they actually do follow through. As at the moment, he may just walk right up, catches 1 to the back, and he checks for the steps, too. Good trade from you still, though. Stops him from doing even more damage, and now sees CJ coming out from the Palace. He's a rough player to challenge, though, and now he pays attention over here towards the connector. JKS, he's a surprise, too, from Firebox. Ustillo gets the intel out. JKS shuts down another one, so it's on ZQK to try and clutch this 1v4. And while he may surprise initially, he's lost that now. Picks up 1, but at 2 HP, there's so much more to go, however. There's 2. He's got a lot more work to do, though. And with only 25 seconds left, he still has to try and find room to get the bomb on the ground, and that's just going to waste an additional 10 seconds here.
He has another molly, too. Look.
Rip. And there it goes.
And that's the round.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's going to have a hot, like, 7 seconds or something when this goes away. So in he goes, trying to push past it here, but ultimately there's no reason for them to peek him, and Adder just grabs it anyway. So the Renegades, as we pretty much expected, they're coming off of the half, will take control of this match here and push through to a victory here on this map this evening.
It's a shrug.
It's a shrug.
It's a shrug for
Selfless.
Selfless.
Yeah.
It's a shrug.
Like you said, you just need to get Ryu back in there, man.
I know. He's just gotta kick him off the comp, one of those guys, and just say, "I'm back." Deal with it.
IGL coaching is not a thing anymore, so he's gonna just gotta be the IGL. But for now, guys, we're gonna close out the night back over at the analysis desk. Let's send it back over to those two to get their final thoughts on this evening's games.
Final thoughts and some final rounds there from Selfless. Not looking so hot on Mirage. Did not quite go their way. But Renegades, though, on the other hand, looking good.
Looking much sharper than what they did on Cash, absolutely. T-side as well, played it very cookie cutter, but, you know, still just showing that they're able to execute it when needed.
What about, okay, so we asked this before the round, or before the map.
Yeah.
We discussed balance between CT and T-side between these two teams.
Yeah, and I said it would be, you know, more balanced than what we saw on Cash, and, you know, it held true. Selfless got 2 more CT rounds this time around than what they did on Cash, you know, going from 1 to 3. So there wasn't more balance in that sense, but obviously it was just a struggle, uphill battle the entire time really for Selfless. And when you get off to a bad start, you're not able to string multiple rounds together, break the economy of your opponent. It's always going to be a bad time. So, and I think they just gave themselves too poor of a start to actually have any sort of fighting chance in this.
Well, misery does love company, and I'm sure that's what Selfless is feeling right now, but it's not the end of the road for them. They will have some shot at vindication in some future matches.
Yeah.
That's the way that works. But in case you did just miss this past one, head over to youtube.com/ESLCS so you can grab that VOD and watch a little bit of Renegades over there on Mirage. They seem to like...
got their mid-control going.
Yeah, a little synergy there in the middle area. Yeah. Most definitely. Well, you know, honestly, it's that time. It's the end of the week. And just like any other day here at ESL Pro League, we're going to recap today's matchup. So let's go ahead and take a look at that now. SK coming out on top in a dominant fashion there over the Misfits. We did see that earlier. And with the Renegades Selfless story, as it is told, you see that now. We just watched them on Mirage 16-8 and then Cash before that 16-11. Now, if we switch over to the secondary stream, Luminosity and Winterfox going the distance. 19-17 on Cobble. Slightly unexpected given the current current status, if you will, of Winterfox.
Current state of Winterfox. That was definitely unexpected. I was kind of taken aback by that. But, you know, kudos to the New Zealanders and or Kiwis and Aussies, really, for grabbing a big W.
Your political correctness, you fit right in here in California. All right, let's take a look now at the standings along the North American region here. SK Cloud9, Liquid still sitting in your top 3 commanding positions with Luminosity, Energy, and Optic trailing behind them. And then that's where the race really starts, I believe, is about the Energy all the way down to roughly Misfits, Renegades. That's where your real hunt is. Those are the teams still trying to vie in there and get these wins in so that they might be scrambling at the end of the season, but they don't want to find themselves too far against the wall.
Yeah, exactly. You can already see a bit of a change when we started today. Misfits was at 6th spot. Now they're at 9th with those 2 losses versus SK. Immortals already kind of hopping up 1 spot with the first map down versus Energy. So I know a lot of room for changes here as we go forward. It's going to be really fun to see how it all pans out.
Well, let's take a look now at your home soil here, and let's look at the European standing. This is all you.
Yeah, no, finally we actually have a different team in first this time around. Mouse Sports falling 2-0 yesterday. That allowed for North to actually take that top spot in EU. Then we have Navi, Astralis, Virtus Pro, and Hellraisers, somewhat surprisingly, following them to grab that last playoff spot as for right now. And that is actually with fewer games played than teams like FaZe and so on. So a pretty impressive showing for them. NIP, they're on a 6-game win streak as of right now, so they're starting to pick up pace, which is good for them. And still, somewhat surprisingly, G2 at the very bottom of the league. Not what we would have expected at the start of the season.
Super bizarre.
Yeah.
In theory.
In theory, yeah, obviously different in practice, but you know,
Yes.
there's still time. Obviously, their hopes of making a LAN finals at this point is starting to get a bit worrisome, but I think they look at this as a long-term thing, right? They're not going to freak out.
Well, in case you don't know what the LAN finals are, and in case you have no idea because you just tuned in here at the end of the broadcast, you missed the big show. This all culminates into a LAN final in Dallas in June. We have 28 teams battling it out across the globe for their share of $1 million. And to get in the real money, you need to make it to those LAN finals in Dallas. So go ahead and head over to proleague.com/Dallas. Get your tickets. You know what, Vendetta? What was your first big event you went to?
My first big event. Well, okay, so obviously in the scale of CSS big events, right?
They had those.
Yeah, we had a few, right? The experience in Roskilde, Denmark in 2007. That was my first one. My first big one.
And you can imagine that the experience is, exemplified.
Amplified by about 1 million times. And I had a ball back in 2007 when it was just very, very, amateurish in that sense. And every event I've been to, as part of the broadcast team has just been a blast so far. So if anyone has the opportunity to take their time to go to Dallas that weekend, they should definitely do so.
Well, that does it here for us on ESL Pro League North America Week 5. As you'll see there, our lead commentator, Blue, looking fantastic as usual. But that does it for us here. We'll see you guys next week, and we'll be back then. Goodbye.